All right, here's two equations to solve. First one a little tougher than the second one. So first one is a radical equation. With radical equations, you need to isolate one of the radicals, square things, and then you're going to have to isolate another radical in this particular question. So let me show you how to do it. So I want to move this term over to the other side. So I'll subtract root 4 minus x on this side, and I'll subtract root 4 minus x on this side. So that'll leave me with square root of 2x plus 3 equals 4 minus the square root of 4 minus x. Okay, isolated. Probably give you 1 out of 4 on a test on that if you just did that. Now I'm wanting to get rid of the radical, so I'm going to square this side. And if I square the left side, I also need to square the right side. Remember to square the whole thing because we're going to need to FOIL that out. Sorry, excuse me. So the square and the square root cancel. So this side, 2x plus 3, one of the square roots gone. Good. This side, I'm going to have 4 minus root 4 minus x times another 4 minus root 4 minus x. Okay, let's FOIL this. So this times this would be 16. This times this would be minus 4 root 4 minus x. This times this will be another negative 4 root 4 minus x. And the last one will be minus times minus is a positive. And root 4 minus x times itself would just be, the root will cancel out because there's two of them. It's like root 4 minus x times root 4 minus x. Since they're both the same, you could really say it's root 4 minus x squared, and that square and the square root cancel. Okay, now simplifying things a little bit, I'll leave this here. 16 plus 4 is 20. And then these two together, you treat this like a variable, so it'd be minus 4 something minus another 4 something would be minus 8 root 4 minus x. And then I have a minus x at the end. Again, now we're going to try and isolate that radical. So I'm going to need to subtract 20 here and there. Let's write that down. 2x minus 17 equals a minus 8 root 4 minus x minus x. Let me just see if I've got all that right. I think that's right. Okay, keep going. So, this x I can bring over, so I'll add x here and add x there. So I have 3x minus 17 equals a negative 8 root 4 minus x minus x. Okay, I'd like to divide by 8, but these terms over here, I don't think they're 8 friendly, so I might just leave the 8 where it's at there. So, to get rid of the square root, I'm going to square both sides. So I'm going to square this, and I'm going to square this. So on the left-hand side, oh great, there's two of them. So I'll have to multiply all that out. Then on this side, if I square the negative, it becomes positive. Square the 8 becomes 64. And if I square the square root cancels. So it would just look like that. Whoops, 4 minus x. Okay, let's FOIL this stuff on the left. 9x squared minus 51x minus another 51x. And 17 times 17. I want to say something 89. Calculator. 289 plus 289 equals 64 times 4, I think is 256, minus 64x. These numbers are looking awfully big for me. Okay, so let's collect like terms. So I'll subtract 256, subtract 256, and I'll add 64x and add 64x. Okay. And I'm doing that so I can get it equal to 0, right? And then I'll try and factor. So I've got 9x squared. Sure, what's that? 102, negative 102, plus 64. 38. So negative 38x. And then 289 minus 256 looks to be 33. Equals 0. Okay. Now we try and factor. I was going to see if I could divide everything by 3 or 9 or something, but 38, 3 or 9 won't go into that. So let's try and factor this. So again, this is where you either guess or check, or AC method. I'm going to try and guess and checking. I'm going to put a 9x here and an x there. I'm going to try maybe a 3 and an 11. I don't know. This is positive, so they both have to be the same sign. They both have to be negative. Okay, let's check. 9x squared, yeah, I knew that. Minus 27x minus 11x plus 33. So I get the first and last. This one, oh, it does come out to minus 38. Nice, nice. Okay, so that down there was just my check. I don't need to write that. Okay, so then, I'm almost done. So this is the 0 property. Something multiplied by something else gives you 0. So either 9x minus 11 is a 0, or x minus 3 is a 0. Adding 11 to both sides, I get this. Dividing both sides by 9, I get that. On the other side, I'll add 3 to both sides, so I get 3. And so my answers are 3 and 11 ninths. It's probably a good idea just to go back and check and see if those work. Way up top there. That's a long, big thing. Good idea to check them. I'm not going to check the fraction one. I just checked the 3 quickly, and I think it does work. So we'll assume the fraction works too. Okay, one last question, and this is a little easier one. So you need to solve this rational equation. As soon as I see a fraction, I freeze up a little bit. But if I see an equal sign, yeah, I know how to do these. So basically what you have to do is factor the bottom. An x minus 5, you can't do any factoring. Just an x you can't factor. But there's one on the other side, you can take out an x. So factor out an x, and you get an x minus 5. Then your lowest common denominator must include each factor the most number of times it occurs. So here I have an x minus 5, I need one of those. Here I've got an x, I need an x. Here I have an x, I already have one. X minus 5, already have one. So that's my lowest common denominator. Okay, so now what I get to do is I multiply each term. So this one, and this one, and this one. So I multiply each term by that lowest common denominator. Keep in mind when you're multiplying it by that, I write it up high there, but it's really that over 1. So I'm just multiplying at the top and dividing by the bottom. Okay? Okay, in the first one, the x minus 5s cancels out. So I'm just left with x times 5x, or that'll be 5x squared. The next one, the x's cancel, and I'm left with negative 4 times x minus 5. The last one, the whole thing cancels. So on this side, I'm just left with 20. Simplifying, so this becomes 5x squared. This will be a minus 4x plus 20 equals 20. Now it's an x squared, so I'll bring everything to the left. 5x squared minus 4x plus 20. When I bring this over, it'll be a minus 20. Oh, those will cancel then. So what I'm getting is 5x squared minus 4x equals 0. So it's a squared, so to solve this I'll need to factor. I think the only thing I can factor out is an x. So I'm taking a common factor out. I'm left with that. And the zero property again, so x is 0 or 5x minus 4 is 0. If I add 4 to both sides, I get that. Divide both sides by 5. So my answer is either 4/5 or 0. Now I should go back and check this one. 0 and 4/5. Now the 4/5, I think I'm okay with 4/5 because I can put 4/5 in here, and I think in here and not get into trouble. But if you put a 0 in right here, there's only one variable on the bottom. You can't have a 0 on the bottom of a fraction. So I would go back and say, yes, I think 4/5 is okay, but x is 0 is not an answer. Okay, those are two tough equation solving questions. Hopefully that helps.